Welcome to the Fitness Plus Technology Podcast for club owners, operators, and fitness professionals. Each week, host Bryan O'Rourke brings you an expert interview with a global influencer at the crossroads of fitness and technology. You gain the insights, tools, and inspiration you need to stay connected to the pulse for what matters most for your business in the age of exponential technologies.
Well, welcome, listeners, to the 139th podcast, Fitness Industry Technology Council supported Fitness Plus Technology Podcast. I'm your host, Bryan O'Rourke. Hopefully you're enjoying the holidays and prepping up for 2023. Some big events coming up, of course, URSA in March and FIBO in April. Check links in the show notes. I will be speaking and around at those events, so I hope to see you there. Another note is Jason Stoll's podcast, the last one, 138, was very well received. I want to thank Jason again for spending time. I got a number of notes from folks on that. And another couple of quick final notes before we get to our interview of Bogdan Predusca with Hyperhuman. First, please check the show notes for our Innovation Awards, Technology Innovation Awards. It's all explanatory there. We have another month or two, and please make your nominations so some folks and brands can get the recognition they deserve. Also, look for the survey on technology that we've sent out. We'll be publishing a report in the beginning of 2023 from the results of that. So please participate. We very much enjoy your input on that. So let's talk about Bogdan Predusca. He interviewed with me from Romania, Bucharest specifically, and founded Hyperhuman a number of years ago, which is a pretty interesting tool that enables you to take content that you have in video form and combine it to produce new content in different ways. Pretty interesting tool. I think I've oversimplified what it does, but you'll see the link in the show notes for the company and Bogdan himself, who has a pretty interesting background, not only in his studies in computer science, but also through his acquisition where he was involved with another company where Google and Fitbit purchased their business. So he has quite a long history of work in tech in the health and fitness field and shares some pretty interesting insights that I hope you will find enjoyable. So happy holidays to all of you. Thanks for listening. And let's, without further ado, have Bogdan join the podcast. Well, listeners, again, as I mentioned in the intro, we have the pleasure of welcoming Bogdan Predusca of Hyperhuman. Bogdan, thanks for making time this afternoon in advance of the holidays.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So I was mentioning to the listeners in the intro a little bit about your background and was particularly fascinated by your work with Fitbit and the wearable market, which you did that for a while. What can you share about where you've seen that technology come and go and some of the work you were doing back then before you started Hyperhuman?
Yeah, it's one of the fastest moving and evolving industries I ever saw along the way. It changed so much in the past 6-7 years now. I was part of a startup that built actually a wearable, high-end smartwatch a few years ago that was acquired by Fitbit, and I joined Fitbit when they just wanted to get into the smartwatches business. So it was new at that point. Everyone was still figuring out what a smartwatch actually means and what wearables should be or should not be. Now, 6-7 years later, I think the market is way more mature. People are more aware of and adopting and wearing devices on their skin. I remember mentioning a few years ago that wearables are actually more intimate than your underwear lately. You are wearing them more and longer than your underwear. So yeah, it's been a hell of a ride for the whole industry to figure it out and to actually learn and see what technology can do for people, and not the other way around, putting people and just get them to adopt technology because they should or because they must.
Yes, exactly. And that's always the thing, right, Brogdon, where you're working in a new technology where people don't really know what it is yet until they do. and so and that kind of reminds me a little bit of Hyperhuman. So what led you to be a co-founder and now CEO of Hyperhuman? What came to mind? Why did you do it?
It was exactly this drive. Why should you embrace technology in order to become more healthy, more active, more achieve your health goals and drive these health outcomes that everyone wants to see and wants to celebrate? And in the end of the day, it's all about, this industry has one goal: to make you more active, healthier, get your things done. And what we did at Hyperhuman is we saw the opportunity of actually helping businesses in this industry to create that goal. And that goal is content, it's video content. And video content is, everyone takes it for granted, but it's actually super expensive and hard to produce. Content that delivers results and outcomes needs to be put into a strategy, needs to be designed and, of course, shot, and then, of course, delivered to your audience as efficient and as easy and as fast as possible, because people are evolving and their needs change along the way. And all these companies are doing a great job. So everyone is helping their customers achieve these goals. But it's super expensive, and it's not always creating the baseline for the future, which is the smart content of the future. And what we do at Hyperhuman is actually giving the tools and the infrastructure to these businesses and these experts, these fitness creators of the future and the present, to build this amazing content that helps people achieve their goals and delivers positive health outcomes faster, easier, and in a game-changing way. That's all what we do and what's our mission, if you want.
Brogdon, before we get into more details around that, where does this podcast find you this afternoon? Where are you located?
I'm in Romania. I'm in Central Eastern Europe. But our team, I'm super blessed to design this team to be across 3 continents as we speak, on 5 time zones. So I'm blessed to be able to work with people way smarter than myself and have this non-stop exchange of ideas and opportunities enabled by this digital remote work of the post-COVID era. So right now I'm in Romania. A few of our team members are across Europe, in US, also Philippines, and now hopefully early next year also in Australia. So it's a super interesting and sometimes also challenging setup.
Yeah, good. So thanks for that. I should have mentioned that in the beginning. So can you explain for the listeners a little bit more? So we know that the production of content, to your point, is takes a lot of time and resource. And what you were mentioning and what Hyperhuman does is make that process better. How does it do that? What is it that your technology is doing specifically for clients?
Yeah, I would not say better. I would say it completely changes the way you imagine the whole process to be. We think of, okay, how do companies get this amazing content that you see in front of our, let's say, device, mobile app, smart TV, and all this stuff? Of course, they have millions. They go to the video production studios. They hire these models and they shoot this content. But shooting is just a very small portion of the whole effort. It's costly and it's very intensive. But after you shoot, before shooting, there is a lot of work and a lot of collaboration needed across different teams, across different vendors. And this whole process is basically what we do is we centralize, we make this collaborative, we remove all the, let's say, manual labor that you don't want to see in 2023 and beyond. So we take videos, we have a proprietary video AI that extracts all the, let's say, exercises into a smart block, like a Lego block system, fully labeled. We know what's going on in each exercise. And guess what? Now having these Lego blocks that are smart and you know what's going on in that, you can use that with our tools to create new content without cutting, post-production, audio mixing. It scales for multiple languages. It can learn over time and adapt based on your audience and your the feedback that you get from clients. So it's really smart. It gets augmented by our partnerships and different integrations we allow. So we break out this monolithic experience of a video that you shot and you cannot edit. What if I need push-ups to replace the squats? Oh shit, I need to review my whole production setup. Now with our platform and our infrastructure, it's one time, click, edit, new content is ready. So that's what we do. It scales, it's smart, and it's omni-channel ready.
Oh, that's very cool. And so tell me about some of the clients that might be using it without naming names. So tell us some case studies and how, or ideas of how this benefits some of your customers.
Yeah, I actually wrote the ideal client profile a few hours ago because someone asked about it. So we started end of 2020. That's where we founded Hyperhuman. We started actually on 4th of January last year, 2021. We launched our first version in September last year, first focusing on the individual creators, individual professionals out there that are left in the dark. They just need to figure it out, whatever works for them. Creating, shooting, editing, everything was done by themselves. And we said, hey, this can be done better. And then, of course, as soon as we nailed that, because in the end, people need to use your product to nail that product offering and experience and the whole workflow, we added the team, the collaboration, the B2B offering, if you want. So our ideal clients are individual professionals and SMBs, companies, digital health and fitness companies, small and medium-sized businesses that want and already provide or offer on-demand content as a core offering that they have for their clients. And we help them remove that effort and reduce substantially the cost of producing and delivering. So it's consumer fitness apps, connected hardware, trainer and gym software that can offer this as an additional service to their clients. So these are the usual suspects, if you want, for our platform.
Got it. And so the outcome being the ability to create better content faster at less cost, right?
Yes, imagine it costs between 1 and 3K per minute for a video workout to be produced at the highest level of quality. Of course, you need to be at the Nike or Apples of the world in terms of experience, because that's what people saw in 2 years after the pandemic. That's what clients now expect from every company out there, to have a high quality content, diversified, because they're getting bored, and that's creating this constant need of production and offering new content. And we are removing that hurdle, and it's 10x faster, 100x faster, and way, way cheaper than producing it in a traditional way.
Yes. And so with this in mind, what do you see? I mean, obviously the challenge for a lot of companies is, how do we produce better content faster, right? Is that the real nexus? And where do you see for your efforts here? And then secondly, where do you see content evolving to? What is your view of what is going to happen to content over the coming years?
Yeah, two things. So you still need videos. So I've been talking, and we partner up with many video production studios across US, UK, and Australia, because video is something that you need to start. The biggest challenge that we see for companies is not about, okay, it's hard to shoot video, and is they are starting the not thinking from that, what's my outcome, my ideal outcome that I want to enable clients to do, to achieve. If they sign up to this service or product that I'm having, what's the best outcome that they can get with my services, with my offering? And if they start like that and say, hey, 40% of my clients lose 50%, or I don't know, 20% weight from their goal in 1 month, I have an actionable thing that I can start with. Rather than, okay, I need to shoot 10 workout videos and put 70 exercises in my library. That's just how, but the why and what should be, what do I want to achieve for my customers, what are the health outcomes that I want to present, the success stories that I want to achieve for them. That dictates the digital content strategy and all the efforts that you mentioned and that we are solving for them.
And so that makes complete sense. A lot of people don't think of it that way, right? So that's a very important distinction. What then do you think about the future of content? Like, where do you see it? Is it asynchronous, more synchronous? Do you see other things evolving in content? I mean, we see, people like to talk about OpenAI and DALL-E and other new developments with AI. What are some of your views about the future of content?
Yeah, I think we started actually a mind map these weeks before the holidays, just to digest everything what we saw in the 2 years with our clients and with the industry. And we saw three things on the content consumption side: is how do you build and maintain routines? How do you make people accountable and celebrate progress? And of course, what type of content needs to be produced, and what's the structure of that in order to supply these results? And I can tell you one thing: it's smart, we call it, and I hope it will become a branded name sometime soon. Smart video content. What does this mean? Is that this content is like driving with the car, and you have your Waze or navigation, and you're missing an exit. It gets rerouted, but you get to the same destination that you had in mind. That's smart. That needs to be at a scale done for this industry. And I wrote something about the industry, where that industry trend is heading. And I said one thing that is important: we solve most of the problems in this industry. How to deliver content, how to make it smart, video AI to measure how you execute things. These are unfortunately just islands in a sea of opportunities and possibilities. Now it's time to connect these solutions. So to make this a journey for consumers. And if we centered everything around smart content, and we know that that content can be reused, can be adapted to these needs, then we can start building up this vision of enabling people to achieve their goals and to be part of their journey, and not the other way around. Think like a project. I have a project, lose weight. I have a project, increase mobility. That's not a project. That's part of my journey, and it evolves. Next year, maybe I have another need or want, but I'm still one person, and I still need to be getting the right services for myself. So, in a nutshell, it's smart content that integrates with solutions that we already see out there, and it's augmented it by this new technology, video AI, DNA testing, wearable data, all the happy technology that is now rising and getting into the consumer's hands.
Yes, good. And so obviously you've been using development tools for AI for this solution that you've created. What are some observations you could share with the listeners about developing using AI tools? I mean, we're still in early days, but what are your thoughts on AI in general when it comes to applications like Hyperhuman?
I had one note a few months ago when I got the question of, is AI a goal or is it an outcome of another goal? And we applied AI because it really delivers what we wanted to do, is streamline the content production process, remove the human effort, make that easy. And that's why we're applying AI. And if you know what you want to do, it's easy to find the tool chains, the infrastructure to do it. Like we have this for the businesses, the digital health and fitness businesses. The same goes for AI. There is a, a large option pool of solutions that you can use to build your proprietary video technology or AI technology or machine learning. We use that and started from scratch and built our own proprietary system. And to be honest, access now 2-3 years after becoming a, let's say, must, is easier and faster for startups and for tech companies in general. But you first need to know what you want to achieve and what's the business value, what's the customer benefit, and not the other way around. Just put video AI or machine learning or whatever on a slideshow, on a website. And we stay away from using that because that's just a way of getting there. It's not the goal.
It's a very important distinction, right? Because today, and I know you understand this, today, Bogdan, a lot of people have companies and they just put the AI name in them, but it just because it sounds better to them, right? I see that a lot now, right?
Yes, and it's a pity because that's an opportunity. And people, if you are reading a lot of AI, machine learning, and a lot, then you actually don't know what to expect because it's just an empty word. If you say, you can do content in a few hours compared to 4 days or 4 weeks of what we did in the past because the system knows what's going on and so on, that's more actionable. So yeah, you're totally right, and that's the same thing that now goes into the consumer experience.
Yes.
AI can deliver personalization, can deliver entertaining content, fun content that is making you accountable. But it's not okay, my content has AI or is AI powered and that's it.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yes. No, that's a very important distinction. So Bogdan, given the fact that you started a number of companies, I'd like to kind of, for our listeners, get some wisdom for you or from you for them. What are some thoughts or some advice you might give entrepreneurs in tech, in fitness in general, based on your experiences? Are there any learnings that you've are kind of principles that you've learned over the years that you think are really important for people to pay attention to in their own journey?
Yes, I don't give advices. I just try to give myself an advice or myself from 2 years ago or something around that. So what we see and what we learn the hard way is you cannot disrupt the whole industry just because there is a new technology out there. You just need to see where it fits in a journey that already happens and in the habit that your clients, your consumers already have, and you make it a little bit step-by-step part of that journey. Health and fitness is a blessing and a curse in terms of industry. It's always super rewarding because you are helping people. It's fun, it's celebrating success. You see a lot of others doing it. But it's also a curse because if you don't see results, you don't see adoption, you don't see, traction, then you get demotivated both as a business and also as a part of the community. So that's what we learn is just find one key path in this journey and deliver the best value for that. You cannot serve everyone once, and you are not able to provide a solution for everyone. That's the health and fitness is very personal. It's a very personal industry, and it gets to a specific, and it builds on trust, on who are you to tell me things. And trust is always hard to gain. That's what we learn. And I think every company, either it doesn't matter if it's a software or a hardware product, has to figure these things out. How to build trust, how to show results for one specific user segment or journey, and how to be injecting into that, let's say, everyday life of their consumers in their audiences.
So Bogdan, I love this quote. You cannot disrupt an industry just because you have a new technology. Boy, is that true. And yes, in the end, it's about earning trust of the customer and how you conduct yourself. And I agree with that completely. I think that's brilliant insight. And finally, you have to have patience and understand that what you're doing isn't necessarily for everybody. And you have to get focused on balancing meeting that need with your ability to execute on it, which requires patience. I think that's brilliant business insight, Bogdan. So I know it doesn't sound sexy to some people, but it doesn't mean it's not true, right?
Yes, imagine patience is the ultimate ingredient also in establishing a routine. So you need to be patient to get to results. Even if you are an athlete, you need to be doing things and be patient to achieve your goals, to win a medal, to win a competition. So patience is a very important ingredient of this industry. And sometimes people forget because we get in this fast-paced environments where everything needs to be done yesterday. Social media needs to be millions of likes and views and whatever. This industry is one of the ones that require patience and be creative and also be earning that trust that I was mentioning.
Yeah. Well, listeners, look at the show notes because we're going to have links to both Bogdan's LinkedIn profile and, of course, Hyperhuman, his company. You can see content and more details with respect to what their company is doing. So if you want to get in touch with them, you'll be able to do that. And Bogdan, I hope you have, first, thank you very much for spending time with us today and educating us on this very interesting tool around video content. I think it's a pretty unique tool. So I was very happy to have you on. And we really appreciate your insights as well, both in your entrepreneurial journey and also with respect to what to keep in mind now and in the future in business. Any final thoughts at all for the audience?
Yeah, I would love to be a little bit more open to new, open to try out things, because technology is here to help, is here to grow the whole industry. And I think the biggest challenge for young companies like ours is to send this message out to potential clients, partners, to businesses in this industry, to give a little bit more trust in embracing the new ways. Every time something comes in and changes a few things in this industry has a, let's say, responsive in terms of conservation of what I want to encourage is just give it a run, see if it works for you. Adopt this new way of producing content, adopt this smart content of the future for your business and see if it works. Measure it, see the outcomes that it delivers. That's it.
Yep, have an open mind is a very important
Exactly.
thing today, Bogdan. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Bogdan. Enjoy the holidays. I know you're preparing there in Romania.
Many things.
So I hope you and your family and everyone in your world have a pleasant and hopefully peaceful holiday. So thank you for joining us today and giving us an opportunity to learn more about you and Hyperhuman.
Many thanks. It was a pleasure, and please stay healthy and active throughout the holidays. It's very important, and it's creating the baseline for the next year's resolutions.
Absolutely. Take care.
Many thanks.
Hello, listeners. This is Bryan O'Rourke, and thanks so much for listening to the Fitness Plus Technology Podcast. The podcast is made possible by the Fitness Industry Technology Council, a consortium of global brands working together to enhance the adoption of technologies in the fitness space. Our company, Videri Ventures, which is invested in Vertimax, Montezuma, Gold's Gym, Houston, Texas, and Fitness 24/7 Thailand, also underwrites the podcast, along with our service companies, Integris Advisors, Moon Mission Media, and others. Please feel free to share this podcast with your colleagues. And if I can be of any assistance to you, don't hesitate to reach out, bryanko'rourke@gmail.com, or find me on any of the major social networks. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.